Is a Thursday edition of this very show, and we're already in the house. Another guest, should I say a guest or a former member of the house, returns in the house with me. Of course, today I am the host for Whistle Time, and I will be driving you up to there is a 3 p.m. with, of course, Benson Pastore, who literally has been for the other side of Whistle Time at 7 p.m. Whistle Time is not only 2 p.m. 2 to 3, but the one we are handling right now is 2 to 3. A lot is happening in the scenes, and of course, locally yesterday, Benson was out in the field trying to cover in the game where Odramchako was supposed to play Araka in a neutral ground that was in Koboko. Whatever it is that transpired there is a lot that went down yesterday, and the game was not played. Why it wasn't played will come in some of the minutes over there is the show. And then also ahead of a big league, there are too many preparations. There is Onduparaka will be traveling to Uganda to play. There is a Karo Karunji, and then a lot more other games are coming through. And then internationally, some people were chased out yesterday from the championship. They were supposed to come and stay on the lane where they belong. There is Premier League. Manchester City together with their counterpart Arsenal. A lot also happened. We shall also discuss that. And welcome to the show at 2 to 3. Don't you touch that dial. You can follow us on all our social media handles. Give us your comments. We'll definitely get to reapply you. Welcome into the house, Benson. It has been quite a very long time.
Truly, good afternoon, Susie. Good afternoon, viewers, of course, who have missed me. Before we talk about the scene which transpired at Koboko, more especially at St. Charles in Luanga Senior Secondary School playground. Susie, yesterday so many things happened. As you have just highlighted, that means right now we don't have any other team from English soil battle now in UEFA Champions League. The Gunners, you talk about the Citizens, all losing it into the hands of Bayern Munich and the Celta Los Blancos. Actually, the reason as to why you have seen me in front of the camera right now is all about what transpired yesterday in Koboko, whereby there was supposed to be a game between Odamatako Central and the team of Araka. Both teams, they play in Western Regional League, Nile Zone. Araka is a team that comes from Yumbe District. Meanwhile, Odamatako Central Football Club is a team that comes from Arua City. This particular encounter was supposed to take place 2 months ago. This game was supposed to be played on 17th of February 2024. I can confirm to you that day, Araka came, the players came together with the fans. And there was a scene which transpired last season. The fans of the technical team members together with the fans of Odamatako, they said last season they went for an away encounter that side of Yumbe to play Araka. Their fans were beaten, harassed. And of course, they wrote a match report to the FUFA delegate of Western Region, Riga Rasul, and they were expecting action against the Araka Football Club. Since action was not taken against Araka, and on the 17th of February, as I said, 2024, Araka came for the reverse fixture of the ongoing season of Western Regional League to play Odamatako Central, that side of Divine Palace. That's where they do play their home games, they do host their home games. Unfortunately, this is the information actually I got from their public relations officer and at the same time their media officer, Riga Rasul, who was supposed to handle the matter, where Odamatako fans together with some of the technical team members were harassed last season at Araka, the home ground of Araka, who was supposed to handle the situation. He did not handle the situation. As soon as the fans of Odamatako Central together with the technical team members saw Riga Rasul, who was at the same time supposed to handle that matter on the ground on that particular day when that game was supposed to be played, they grew annoyed, they became furious. They said if he wants to go safe and if he wants his car to be safe, he has to leave Divine Palace in peace. And he left Divine Palace. Okay. And according to the report, the fans of Odamatako Central did not touch the fans of Araka, not even the players of Araka, so they left in peace. And the security officers were on ground at the Divine Palace. I am talking about 17th of February 2024, original, when this game was supposed to be played. Riga Rasul was not touched, the car was not touched, he left in peace, and also the fans, the players of Araka also left without injury. And that game was rescheduled, postponed to take place in a neutral ground. That was the reason as to why it was taken to Koboko, St. Charles Luanga Senior Secondary School, and at the same time, the home ground for the team, Tipsa. This game was supposed to take place yesterday. Before the game was supposed to take place, penalty was imposed on the team of the Machakos Central because of what happened on 17th of February 2024. As I had just been saying, repeating, the game did not take place. And these were the penalties that were imposed on the Machakos Central Football Club. They were supposed to pay 400,000 Ugandan shillings. Okay. On top of that, Araka claimed that they had wasted money on fuel, so they had to be compensated by 300,000 Ugandan shillings. You add 400,000 Ugandan shillings onto 300,000 Ugandan shillings, it makes a total, yeah, exactly, you have said, 700,000 Ugandan shillings. And also on top of that, there was a game Machakos Central also played with the Koboko Rising Stars. And Koboko Rising Stars, they also claimed that, Machakos Central Football Club claimed that Koboko Rising Stars had played a player, ineligible player against them. You know, when you petition a team, there is always a petition fee. They were also penalized 100,000 Ugandan shillings, and if you add all these, all the amounts, it equals to 800,000 Ugandan shillings. Yeah. That means 400 was imposed on them because of the act, what transpired at Divine Palace, plus 300 compensation fee of the fuel, then that petition fee of 100. And that game was rescheduled yesterday. And they said they had paid the money yesterday at around 11 a.m. And according to the report, I don't know if it is true, because these were the reports given to me as I was on the ground. They said they had paid the money lately. That is the first thing. And also, as I reached there, you could not find any match official to be interviewed, to talk to, and at the same time, no technical team member from the side of Araka. They reached there at around 2 p.m. They waited up to, it was up to 18 minutes gone after 5 p.m. till they had to realize that the game could not take place. And they said they don't know what is actually transpiring as far as West Nile football is concerned. If they had known that Araka was not coming for the game, Araka was not honoring the game. Remember, they used the bus. They said they had also hired a bus. The bus is Kasamba bus. You also added the 800,000 Ugandan shillings and also feeding the players, plus their allowances. They said it was almost going up to 2 million Ugandan shillings. And no report was given to them as to why Araka could not turn up for the game. What was only rumored was that they should also reschedule the game again. Or actually, these are the things which transpired as far as the game which was supposed to take place between Machakos Central and the team of Araka is concerned. Right now, highlighting something about the top of the table in Nile Zone.
Before actually we go to there is at the top of the table, I want us to critically look at all these things that have been transpiring. I want us to look at exactly what has been happening. I want you to be able to tell us if what Araka did in the first place, what Araka did to Odramchako when Odramchako traveled was right, because we saw this also affecting a few sides in there is the Nyagaki zone, Pakwachi Youngsters, and by the Black Angels. We traveled the other time to cover the game at Baromach, St. Mary's Baromach in Pakwach, and we all saw how tense the game was. True. We saw how physical the game was. This was simply because it was said that in the first leg, when Pakwachi Youngsters traveled to Barukuru, the fans claimed that they were beaten by fans of by the Black Angels. Yes. So they were waiting to beat the fans of by the Black Angels in the return leg. Yes. As they came to St. Mary's Baromach. But then, in between, as the Black Angels fans traveled to Pakwachi, we were there live on ground, and then police was there and all that. So basically, people's wounds were pressed and covered, and we saw what happened at the end of the day. The game wasn't even, I don't know, others say it was, the minutes were finished, others say the minutes were not finished and all that. So basically we saw what transpired. Tear gas had to eat our eyes, people had to run left, right and center, stones, we even saw bloodshed and all that, which was so bad. Now, this has moved from Nyagaki zone to Nile zone. Odramchako says when they traveled, they were beaten by Araka fans. But then when Araka people came, they simply marched them out. I mean, what is all this?
You know, there is one thing which I fail to understand as far as Western Nile football is concerned. Sometimes things are happening, and once a report is compiled, you don't get the feedback. Maybe that is the reason as to why people are getting annoyed. Like the scene of Odamachako and Araka, they said they wrote a report to the officials of Western Nile Regional Football Association, and nothing was done. And that might be the reason. In fact, that is the reason as to why they did match out Ariga Rasul, one of the executives we have in that department of Western Nile Regional Football Association. And you know, something has happened. You want to handle it in a positive way, and in the process of handling it in a positive way, you don't also get a positive answer. Of course, it raises anger. And at the same time, one aspect which is still beating my understanding is those people, I don't know if it is the administrators of Araka Football Club or is the administrators of Western Nile Regional Football Association, them saying that the money was paid lately at around 11 a.m. Now, here comes the question. This is what is beating my understanding. If they had known that the money was paid lately, why did they fail to also resettle the fixer after Odamachako paying? They would have waited Odamachako to have first cleared the penalty on them, first paid the money, then resettled the game afterwards. And Western Nile football, it's now becoming, it's now all over, both in Nyagati zone and also in Nile zone. Up to now, I don't know if you have got the match report about what happened between Pakwati Youngsters and Paida Black Angels. Me, I have not got the report.
Whistle Time Desk has not received.
Things are happening, no report, and at the end, the anger is transferred on the players and also the fans. They tend to revenge afterwards.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because they say at the other time they did this to us. The DFA did not do anything. Maybe the region did not do anything. So basically, it's our turn also to revenge. So this whole thing is eating up the football fraternity in West Nile. Now, coming down to there is the fines that Araka had. I mean the fines or penalties that Odamachako had to pay. Do you think those fines were genuine? I mean, there are a lot of things that have happened, but in all these rulings, I have never had in Nyagaki zone things are happening. Things have been happening. And now that in Nile zone, they are also happening. These are things that equally also transpire from our lower league division games they started in long time ago, but then this whole thing that the fine and the monies they levied on Odamachako, I think this is something that is new. Do you think the fines are genuine? I mean, what is the region trying to attain, or what is the region trying to tell us out there as football lovers?
Me, I would say 50-50. It might have been genuine, it might have not also been genuine. Why am I saying this one? Because it's not balancing. Sometimes some of the teams, the way they act, it's in awkward way, sorry to use that term, but they are not penalized. But some teams, they act in awkward manner, they are penalized. So the balancing bit of it is not there. Why am I saying this one? They went to Araka, evidence is there, they compiled everything, match report, it was submitted, and no action was taken. And theirs, it has happened. Now the action has been taken against them. That's where I'm saying the unbalancing bit of it comes. And charging them 400,000 Ugandan shillings. Of course, the aspects, also the sectors where this money is going is also something we need to look at. And also Araka saying that they should be paid 300,000 Ugandan shillings. Has it been happening with every team? Like if a team fails to honor you, maybe hooliganism cases, has it been going at the same rate is also one thing people are looking at, and also the petition fee. These are the things we may say. That's why I'm saying we may say it's genuine to a certain extent. Also to a certain extent, it might not be genuine. That's after looking at it, whether it's balancing, it's going equally with the rest of the teams we have in the region. But
Araka and their issues over fuel, I think this is not the first time they're doing this with this. We've seen a lot of games bouncing, but I've never heard the other side saying, hey, now I have come here, you're supposed to do fuel refund, left, right. I have never heard that even in the biggest of football. Maybe if it's there, only that we've not landed on it. Recently, before the season started, there was a friendly Araka played with Onduparaka Football Club. The first time Onduparaka Football Club traveled to Yumbe to play that game, and then the return leg of that game was supposed to be there, and it did not happen simply because Araka said Onduparaka needed to fund in all their travel expenses, from fuel to allow it to feeding, welfare, and all that, because that they also did the same to Onduparaka as Onduparaka traveled the other side for the friendly. But then when we went down to the grassroots, we found out that Onduparaka actually handled their own expenditure as they traveled. But then news went viral on social media handles. Everywhere they were typing, hey, we are not coming, fuel our bus, do this because we fuel. So is this fuel thing becoming an issue for Araka? Is it because they've acquired a mini bus but they're not the first people to even acquire a mini bus that they want every other person to fuel? I mean, what's this?
Susie, still flashing back about what transpired yesterday evening. And one thing I am looking at is the game has failed, we understand. Is it Araka who has failed the game, or else it is the people behind Western Regional Football Association? If it is Araka, why have they failed it? If it is the people who are behind, the administrators behind Western Football, why has it happened? Ironically, they were not even on the ground. You could not see any technical team member from Araka explaining why, of course, they could not honor the game. And if it is the people from the administrators behind Western Football, why have they done it? If they knew that the game was not going to take place, why they failed to communicate earlier?
They received the money in the morning, and then they knew that these people had paid late. They would have informed them. Because this distance, they also traveled. Odramtsako is not situated in Arua city. They are at the border, I should say.
Yes.
They are at the border of Arua and Congo. So, I mean, they also traveled from there to Arua, then through to, that is Koboko. Araka equal. So, if Odramtsako also comes and says, pay us our fuel, what happens? Because they also use the fuel.
Hiring the bus did cost something of around 600,000 Ugandan shillings. So, these are the things which are happening in Western football. I think also in Uganda at large. I fail to understand whether Ugandan football is developing or else it's failing, but I know, according to the perspective of the people, 80% of the people, they are saying that Ugandan football is growing. I don't know if this is the way of
maybe at higher levels, but then the growth of something starts from down. You don't just start growing something. You don't climb a tree from upwards, You climb a tree from down here. So all this, let's wait for the match report, if at all it will ever come. Because we've waited for match reports in vain, so we just also move in like that. And for yesterday, let's wait.
And the season is almost coming to an end. Right now, it is becoming tense in the Nile zone, because teams like Total or Damachaku, you talk about Araka itself, not forgetting about Kotsi, they are following each other closely. Right now, as I had said, Araka is leading the table. Out of 17 games they have so far played, they have 39 points. And Odamatako, they were supposed to play yesterday. They sit at number 4 with something of around 31 points. And they have played 2 games less than the team of Araka. Okay. It's going tense. We are waiting to see whether the points are going to be given to Araka or else to Odamatako. Maybe they will also reschedule the game again. But Odamatako, some of the stakeholders of Odamatako, they were saying that if the federation, not the federation, rather, Western Regional Football Association, if the wins, the 3 points will be given to Araka for them. They don't have any problem because they cannot keep on wasting money, transporting players, feeding what each and every time, and the game continues to collapse like this.
That is the story, of course, we had for you transpiring in. There is the Nile zone, basically amongst the 2 teams. There is Araka, and of course, Odramtsako, as the title race chase is very tight. Everyone wants to qualify and go in for zonos. And by the way, Odramtsako cannot be ruled out much as they sit in position number 4. Trust me, they will pull through and go to the zonos, and they are a very good side. Leaving that 9 zone aside, I want us to cross to Manyagaki zone and see there is a game coming on this very weekend between there is a Pakwach Youngsters that recently were beaten by Pajule Lions in Padier as they bowed out of Stanbic Uganda Cup. They now are fully focusing on regional league. There is Nyagaki zone. They have a game. Yesterday, remember, the Black Angels traveled to there is a Zeu at Police Ground. They played a 1-1 with there is a Zeu, and currently Paida sits on top of the table with a point gap of 2 amidst there is a Pakwach Youngsters. But then Pakwach Youngsters Paida drew yesterday. Pakwach has a game at hand with there is our own Kuluva Rainbow that will be traveling to there is a Pakwach at Barrio Match. What are you anticipating? Are we seeing now that are we seeing Pakwach winning, going past Kuluva Rainbow and going ahead of the Black Angels, or because they already drew their game yesterday and Pakwach is yet to play, they are in a very tight table chase?
Right now, the competition for finishing on top of the log is just between the two teams, Paida Black Angels and the team called Pakwach Youngsters. For the rest of the teams, they are fighting to avoid the relegation. Others are fighting to finish in a better position. Pakwach Youngsters, knowing that they have already lost it into the hands of Pajule Lions in Stanbic Uganda Cup, like you have just said, the focus now turns back home in domestic league, which is a regional league. I think Paida Black Angels slipping some points into the hands of Zeus Sendul is a bad omen for them. Is something which is alarming the both sides. Pakwach Youngsters, I think they were praying for a positive result on the side of Zeus Sendul, and that result alone still keeps the team, Pakwach Youngsters, in the pace. And coming up against Kuluva Rainbow, right now, Kuluva Rainbow, they know that the only thing remaining for them is to avoid the relegation. There should be just a win away to avoid relegation, but for Pakwach Youngsters, they still want to chase it up to the end. But coming up against Kuluva Rainbow going away, I don't think they will survive, as I had said, knowing that yesterday we saw PBA slipping points into the hands of the Central. They will not want to lose it into the hands of Kuluva Rainbow. Even a mere draw, they will not want to do that one. They will be fighting to see that they win it until they keep it up to the end. And Paida losing some points to Zeus Central, it means the battle will still continue up to the end of the season, maybe up to the last game, in case the both teams will keep on winning their games that are coming ahead of them. And also we have to know that the season is becoming tense. There is no need for you to undermine a team at the moment.
Or lose any points.
Like Zeus Central, who expected Paida to have dropped points against the team of Zeus Central. No one expected. That means normal when curtains are drawing closer like this, every team always becomes tougher.
And of course, I will be sliding off into a very short commercial break, and when we return, we'll still be discussing some of the games that we left untouched at halftime as we finish, of course, with internationals. We're off shortly. Don't go away.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region. West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Welcome back from that very short commercial break, and I would like to say salute and big ups to every other person that has always kept it on West Nile TV, because we are here to light up the region for you. Susie in the house driving. There is this huge car together with Benson Pastori, and today we managed to pull him in the house to fill in for one of our biggest co-hosts. There is Mr. Bowen, who is out for official duty. And we left the house at halftime as we were looking at you. There is a Pokwachu youngsters ahead of the game that they have with our own from Arua City. Okay, they're in Arua district, Kuluva. But there is a Kuluva supposed to travel the other side. And the title race is very, very tight. By the drew the game yesterday with Zo. And ahead of the game on a Sunday, of course, we'll be seeing there is one guy who got out injured during the game with the Pajule Lions. He's called Tita, and he plays a position number 5. His real name is Jakisa Eric, who starts training today ahead of the Sunday game. So it will basically be a very good one for various Pakwach youngsters ahead of Kuluva Rainbow as they look at the opportunity of climbing on top of the table. Before we go to international, I want us to briefly look at one fourth league division game today, where there will be a game at Giako Airfield. Will be playing that is Tanganyika today 4 p.m. I have a full team news here. What are you anticipating ahead of this game? Remember, Airfield has been having an unbeaten run, and they sit on top of the table. They are doing quite so well, and I think it's quite very massive and a very good one for them. What are you anticipating ahead of this game, Arua Airfield today ahead of Tanganyika 4 p.m. at Giako?
Yes, exactly. Airtel Football Club, not Airtel, rather. Airtel Sports Club, Football Club, they're now calling themselves Airtel Sports Club. This is a team I love following. So still the ticket has various good kind of concern. I think the only thing remaining for the team of Airfield is to keep the momentum, is to keep the pace and maintain the unbeaten record, such that they also play that fear factor for the other teams who they are going to meet together, in case they are going to be grouped together in the zones. And coming up against Tanganyika. Tanganyika is a team that has been so quiet into this competition, unlike when the qualifications for the 5th division we are done. The last made names by them, but of late they have disappeared. Coming up against a team which is each and every time the game they play, they always show some kind of resilience. That is the team of Airfield, the Airfield for you. I don't think Tanganyika will be generating something against Airfield. The way I'm seeing it, they will still keep on pacing up against the Tanganyika side. Okay, in the team news, that of course is coming from Arua Airfield. Around 5 people will be away. There is Ahmed, family issues, Nguzu family school, Widi Matata all school, and then Mambo is also out due to family issues. And then those that are present include Charity, Leo, and Achema. Starting a lineup ahead of this game include Malik, there is Mahad, Samuel, Rahim, Echoni, Charity, Caesar, Bob, John, Agabo, Ino, and then in the subs, Airfield will have Opia, Atoti, Achema, Emma, and Leo, and these are the people, of course, that you will be expecting ahead of this very game. And with the head coach in the names of Mr. Ibrahim Faizo, they are very ready, they're ready in the grounds, and they are highly anticipating a huge win ahead of this game. We will be alive on the grounds at Giako 4 p.m. today, and of course, whatever it is that will transpire there today will definitely be brought to you down here tomorrow. And leaving that story there, of course, we'll be crossing over to there is an international scene.
A lot happened last night. I want you to take us through whatever it is that transpired. Maybe briefly, I can tell to you that Arsenal, we're looking forward to qualify. There is the semis and the quarters that they played Bayern. In the first leg, they played an altitude at the home of Arsenal at Emirates, and then this time around they traveled to Bayern. What transpired, Benson will tell us. And then for Manchester City also, they were managed somewhere, somehow. Of course, the discussion will also come as we close the hour, starting with the Arsenal game.
Yeah, that's why sometimes we say in some of these tournaments, more especially if we talk about European football, we talk about UEFA Champions League, experience matters. Experience is a key thing when you talk about UEFA Champions League. What killed Gunners in that particular encounter against the Bavarians was not the skills, it was actually the experience Bayern Munich actually possesses. You look at the encounter between the two sides. Coming to the playing bit of it in the pitch, Arsenal looked to be a better side compared to the team of Bayern. But the way, let me start comparing it right from the goalkeeping department. You look at the two custodians, the way the custodian of Bayern Munich, Neuer, was doing it as if Neuer is still in his early 20s. He was so marvelous. Very, very perfect in between the sticks. And talking about Raya was a very good goalkeeper between the sticks. And you look at the defense line of the two sides, you look at that one of Bayern Munich, they were so compact compared to that one of Arsenal. Matthias, their left back, Tomiyasu was a little bit shaky, but written at a certain moment, he had to settle. And also the partners between Gabriel Magalhaes and also Saliba was so perfect compared to how they did it in the first league. And you look at midfield, the guy who actually impressed me most as far as the two midfields for the two teams are concerned. There was one guy called Joshua Kimmich, that midfielder for the team of the babysitter for the team of Bayern Munich. The way he was playing, he was actually playing like a playmaker. He was playing like a winger. That's why you will see him going for set pieces, things like free kicks, things like corner kick, till he was actually the pivotal man to see that he sends Bavarians through. And talking about the attacking force, Bayern Munich, before they had traveled for the game, in fact, it was Arsenal who traveled to Germany. Before actually the encounter, they had so many injured worries. Even the former employee of Arsenal, Serge Gnabry, could not feature for the game because he's out injured. But Bayern knew how to approach the game. One thing in summary, which killed to me Arsenal in that particular encounter, was their attackers I don't know the best term I can use. They were not aggressive. Havertz was very, very cold. This guy, Martinelli, the way he was playing is not the Martinelli we used to know in the past games. The attacking force, Saka, was very cold. In fact, the three amigos for the team of Arsenal, they were so quiet, they were so cold compared to the team of Bayern. And also I need to credit the defense line of Arsenal. At least yesterday night you could not see Harry Kane overlapping like the way how he overlapped in the first league. I even don't know. He never had any attempt on target, but it was in summary, it was the experience Bayern Munich, of course, had, which killed everything for the team of Arsenal.
To me, by the way, Arsenal was kind of a balanced. Arsenal had a balanced game, by the way. Bayern, of course, just took advantage of the reserve of German atmosphere, which literally, of course, brought in some little bit of fear into there is Arsenal, and Arsenal sat at the back. But then Bayern just took advantage of the kind of their play and literally understood what exactly Arsenal was and converted in the only chance that they got at behind over the net that literally saw them pull through as winners over the 90 minutes basically. And then also pulling through to there is the Manchester City and Real Madrid game. What did you see, what transpired and all that, as I also bring in mind later on?
Me, I'll start by saying that Manchester City was unlucky side of not winning the game, because you look at the game right from the beginning up to the end of the game, it was Manchester City all over the pitch. playing the team of Real Madrid. That's why experience. Of late, you talk about UEFA Champions League, the masters are the Los Blancos. That's Real Madrid for you. And I was actually surprised to see that Real Madrid managed to contain the pressure right from the beginning up to the end. And I also want to credit their head coach Ancelotti for being very, very tactical in the game. When he was substituting some of the attackers like Rodrigo, you talk about Vinicius Jr. Some people were saying that actually he had killed the game, but he was very, very tactful in the game. But for Manchester City, they kept on overlapping. It was not even half field, I should say. It was even half 18, how Manchester City was playing. And for Pep Guardiola, he killed the game when actually he substituted out a certain Kevin De Bruyne. That was when Real Madrid was actually relieved, because he was actually the man who overpowered the midfield of Real Madrid. After Pep Guardiola substituting Kevin De Bruyne, that was when we saw at least Real Madrid now breathing till up to the end of the game, now going into the penalty shootout. You know, once a game reaches to a penalty, you cannot decide the fate of the game, because any team can win it. And also the first penalty being taken by Luka Modric, spoiling it. Real Madrid thought that it was done. That's why we always say that the fate is determined at the end of the game. Bernardo Silva together with a certain, was it Phil Foden? Bernardo Silva with a certain Matteo Kovac is spoiling things for Manchester City. That means history still continues to repeat itself. And on the side of Arsenal has never beaten Bayern Munich in UEFA Champions League. And also for Manchester City has never won UEFA Champions League consecutively back-to-back. That means, I would say right now, Real Madrid, they are the favorites.
I think for Real Madrid, the kind of football that the display that they brought, every other person thought maybe they are going to bring in a tiki-taka kind of football of speed and the style, coupled with, of course, the Spanish kind of play.
Exactly.
Trust me, that was completely not there. What Real Madrid did was to sit at the back. They packed at the back from minute 1 throughout the 120 minutes of the play during that very game. And this was very shocking, by the way. They sat so deep into the back in that they conceded a record corner kick over 18. There is at 1 compared to what Manchester City actually picked. And are we saying that now I expected by the Manchester City to have a run for various Real Madrid based on their background, based on the tic-tac kind of display and all that, but to me they just put up an averaged play, parking the bus at the back.
Yeah, truly, you look at the players that started for the team of Real Madrid, you will really know that there were some players Real Madrid, of course, was missing. You talk about Oriol Tchouameni was not in the team. Real Madrid missed his services, and also in defense line, Alaba was also not there. And Real Madrid actually went for a gamble with defense line. Rudiger, Nacho at a certain moment was introduced. And also one guy whom I want to credit so much was there, right back, Dani Carvajal. He was so outstanding, but written in extra time, he got tired, because this is a guy who is already in his 30s. The colleague players with whom he was playing together, they have all left Real Madrid, with the exception of only very few, maybe Luka Modric. And of late, Real Madrid, I don't know if you are observing, Real Madrid is having limited attackers of late. Vinicius Jr., Rodrigo, once they are not in the game, you always see Real Madrid suffering. Matthias, you have players like Ibrahim Diaz, but these players, they cannot perform up to the expectation of players you think will perform like how those other two players I mentioned are performing. But Real Madrid is still the master UEFA Champions League so much. Manchester City, they were unlucky. They were playing the game as if they were playing a domestic league. They thought because of Jeremy Doku was introduced, Manchester City fans were relieved. They thought that he was going to come up with the magic, maybe commit a penalty. Things were not working. They were only dancing on the ball. But Real Madrid was clinical enough. That's what
there is one comment that actually has come through from a social media handle. It says says, Real Madrid is never and will never be known for playing that tiki-taka type of football, which happens to be a typical style of Pep. That's why Real Madrid is known for acquiring pacey and skillful wingers who are good dribblers of the ball, like the current Vini, Rodrigo, etc. The game plan was to sit and defend. Okay, so that's why they sat at the back and back to 120.
Do you know one tactical substitution Ancelotti did?
Yeah.
He left one energetic midfielder there. He left Valverde. Valverde, Matias, comparing him with maybe Toni Kroos, someone will say that you rather remove Valverde and leave Toni Kroos. He know that this is a guy who is having the innards. He left him there. He rather removed the certain Toni Kroos together with he left him together with Eduardo Camavinga, who is always good when it comes to keeping the shape of the team. By the way, Susie, in summary, one thing I want to say about midfielders.
Let me read this through as you summarize. It says, the game plan was to sit and defend critically and energetically without allowing those tricky passes from Manchester City via the open pockets within the 90 minutes. And the plan worked well. You know, within the 30 minutes, you saw Haaland was handled well by Nacho and Rodri. And he never enjoyed the game. So at the end of the day, the best planner won. That is Madrid for you.
Yeah, Real Madrid for you. Everyone fears Real Madrid. When you are pitted against Real Madrid in any stage of UEFA Champions League, the first thing which comes into your mind is you're already out. I'm already out. But there are some teams that have, at least, they have mastered Real Madrid. And I think it was a revenge because Real Madrid last year was beaten by Manchester City at the same stage. This time revenge against Manchester City is something plus. And one I wanted to put one thing about natural midfielders. Susie, you see, of late, I don't know if you are observing the midfielders we have of late, more especially babysitters. Of late, you don't see that aspect of keeping the shape of the team. I used to praise midfielders like Jorginho, but of late he's not given that much time. You talk about Fabinho, the former one of Monaco, and Liverpool now playing in Asian world. Right now, you talk about English Premier League. Is there a midfielder who is known of keeping the shape of the team? You will really enjoy. I don't think. And you go to Spanish La Liga. I think Eduardo Camavinga is someone who knows the right time to move up front, who knows the right time to give that penetrating pass. And me, I will rate him as the best midfielder right now in terms of keeping the shape of the team. He's right now. Normal people say the heart of Real Madrid of late are players like Rodrigo. You talk about Vinicius Jr. because of how they overlap up front. Me, I will say the heart of Real Madrid of late to me is Eduardo Camavinga. Okay. Though those guys are known of scoring goals, you know, for us Africans, when you bang goals, you're always the best. Okay. Yeah.
That was that we had for you a very huge analysis through the games that transpired yesterday. Where, of course, all English Premier League clubs that were still representing were carried and dumped out successfully. That is Arsenal and Manchester City.
A friend of mine was telling me that Liverpool, Chelsea and Man fans, they can now breathe because the noise is over.
We can now have some silence on social media handle, and now that's why I was saying there is now no English Premier League side that is in on the table of generals, I should say. And summer as the season started, there was a lot of noise on, hey, Mara, we want to win the treble, we want to do what? All that dream has been cut off. So it's going to be a very tense one, and now that all these other teams are out. In the next level of there is the championship, what are you anticipating? Very tense football, a beautiful display of football, because now the people that are left there, I should say they're generous.
Yeah, truly, the draw has been automatic already. Paris Saint-Germain up against the team of Borussia Dortmund. Me, I will say these are the teams of the same level. PSG up against Dortmund. Kylian Mbappe is leaving Paris Saint-Germain and wants to leave legacy behind, and the legacy is already there. The only remaining thing for him to add on to the legacy is if he wins the Champions League for them, something not Real Madrid, Paris Saint-Germain has been yearning for. Bayern Munich up against Real Madrid. Yeah, people will say Real Madrid, Bayern. It's true. Real Madrid has been running over the team of Bayern Munich. It will be a very good class. Yeah, I would love to see Paris Saint-Germain this time winning it. But I don't think it will happen. Still Manchester City, yeah. It's going to be... Not Manchester City, it's Real Madrid.
It's going to be a very tight race for... it's going to be a very tight race for all the 4 teams, best teams that have gone through there. And we'll be seeing which teams can, of course, come out of the tight semi-finals to come through to finals and virtually lift in the trophies. As our time clocks, of course, will be shortly living in here. Maybe something you want us to know about out there before we leave here for the movie hour.
I know Liverpool fans, they're expecting a lot from us as far as their game tonight in UEFA Europa League is concerned, because they are traveling away to Italy to take on Atalanta. Right now, the Atalanta is leading them by 3-0, and also at the same time, Italian derby between AS Roma and the team of AC Milan. AC Roma is leading the team of AC Milan by 1-0, and at the same time, Bayer Leverkusen, a team which is still unbeaten, both in German Bundesliga, German DFB Pokal, and also in European night. We'll be looking forward to see that they extend unbeaten against West Ham.
Some of the fixtures we have today include Atalanta playing Liverpool, and then we'll have Marseille playing Benfica, Roma will play AC Milan, and West Ham will be playing Leverkusen. What fixture are you discussing?
I am looking at the 2 games, the game between Leverkusen and West Ham. The team which is going to beat Leverkusen for the first of its kind this season, it will be a history. West Ham will want to do that one tonight. Will it happen? The form West Ham is possessing right now, comparing it with the form Bayer Leverkusen is having, West Ham, I don't think they will break the jinx. And also Liverpool up against Atalanta, it will be a free-flowing game between the 2 sides. Atalanta will want to defend, because they know that they have a huge advantage. 70% I can say it's for Atalanta, but Liverpool is known of coming back. It reminds us of what happened in 2019 semi-final between the team of Liverpool and Barcelona. We are waiting to see if the same history will repeat itself come tonight. But Liverpool, they will beat Atalanta, but can they score 4 goals minus Atalanta scoring anything is actually what fans are waiting to see come tonight. Yeah. So
that is already an early prediction ahead of the Atalanta-Liverpool. You're saying Liverpool will beat Atalanta, and by the way, they already have a 3-0 aggregate in there ahead of that game. I want you to also do a prediction on a Marseille-Benfica game. Just a prediction. Who takes the day?
Olympique de Marseille, Soccer Lisboa-Benfica is slippery. They are going to France. Marseille will beat them. I'm seeing Benfica going out.
Okay, and then Roma, AC Milan.
Roma, AC Milan. Roma won, just they were lucky in the first league. AC Milan is a better side than AS Roma, but going to Estadio di Olimpico, still AC Milan is coming on top.
I am seeing a 1-0 aggregate, and the same also for Marseille and Benfica is a 1-2 aggregate in there. And then lastly, a prediction of the aggregate, which is already 2-0, Leverkusen and of course West Ham. Who is taking the day?
West Ham is going to play the game like nothing to see that they end that run. They want to make that history of being the first club to beat Bayer Leverkusen, but Bayer Leverkusen will avoid that.
Yeah, exactly.
West Ham, they will lose the game 2-1. I'm seeing for Bayer Leverkusen.
Okay, 2-1. Of course, that was all we had for you today. There is a whistle time.